Here's the situation most marketing directors listening to this will recognize. You've got a landing page that's already converting. Traffic's warm in this case, meaning people are showing up pre-sold. Your subscription take rate is not budging. Your internal team has already run tests. Nothing's moving the subscription needle. That was the exact spot the supplement brand Human was in when they brought us in on their SuperBeets page. They were doing $65 million in annual revenue. They had a real budget, a real internal talent, and an external CRO agency who had already tried and hadn't cracked it. Creative thirst was called in as a fresh pair of eyes. We looked at the page and added one section. That's it, just one section to the page. And subscription sales went up 23.53% over the control in a head-to-head A/B test. That single change, projected across their traffic volume, was worth over $200,000 in additional subscription revenue. Today, I'm going to do something I haven't done before on this show. I'm going to read you the exact copy we added, line by line, and walk you through what each line is doing and why. This is an annotated test breakdown, not a framework lecture. If you run a supplement brand doing $5 million and up, my goal is that by the end of this episode, you can look at your own page and know whether you have the same gap we found on Human's page, because I'd bet a lot of you do. Welcome to Health Business Mastery, the Creative Thirst podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Hewitt. Okay, let me set the scene before I get into it. SuperBeets is a nitric oxide drink mix. It's in the heart health category. The traffic mix at the time was heavy TV traffic. Knowing the traffic to a page is important because TV traffic behaves differently from cold meta traffic. The TV spot does the problem framing, introduces the mechanism, builds the spokesperson credibility. By the time someone lands on the page, they're already warmed up. They're scanning for reassurance and a buy button. They're in checkout mode, which is why this test was hard to get a lift on. On cold traffic, you've got room to get a relative improvement by 20% or more sometimes, because the page is doing the heavy persuasion lifting that cold traffic requires. On warm traffic, most of the persuasion happened off the page. You're squeezing a lemon that's mostly squeezed. Now, the client here made it even harder for us to get a win because the goal wasn't more buyers. Human already had buyers. The goal was to get more of those buyers choosing the subscription over the one-time purchase offers. That's a different problem, and it's the problem their other attempts had stalled on. They tried the usual levers, testing different button copy, different subscription benefits, discount positioning, offer architecture. None of it moved the take rate meaningfully. My read on why those tactical tests didn't work is that they were all essentially asking, can I get someone at the moment of clicking to choose subscription instead of one time? They were testing things at the decision point. And the answer on warm traffic is usually no, because by the time someone is at that button on a warm page, they've already decided what they're there to do. So the reframe we came in with was, what if we intervene before the offer block? And we don't try to talk people into subscription at all. We just make subscription feel like the obvious format for what this product is. That reframe is where the section we added to the page came from. And now I'm going to walk you through it. The section we added sits above the offer block. It has two distinct halves. The top half is educational and hitting on 3 of our 4 supplement buying forces. The bottom half is built on the architecture of the final 4th force. I'll take you through them one at a time. Here's the headline. And pay attention, because this line is doing 3 jobs in 14 words. You ask a lot of your body. Help replenish NO every day. NO is nitric oxide, by the way, for you listeners. You ask a lot of your body is implicit validation. It's saying to the reader, you're the kind of person who's active, who pushes yourself, who takes care of yourself. It's identity adjacent without being identity heavy. The visual we added with it is imagery of two people out on a run. That line does real work. It flatters the reader in a way they won't consciously notice. Then, help replenish NO every day. The word every day is the key. It's pre-framing the subscription logic before anyone gets to the offer. By the time they get to the offer block, they've already been told once that this is a daily practice. So the rest of the copy under that headline, the body copy we added, goes like this. I want you to listen to this paragraph, and I'm going to stop after each sentence and tell you what force it's carrying. This is exactly how we structured it internally. Opening sentence, nitric oxide is critical to our very lives and well-being. That's another framing line. It's setting the category stakes. It's not one of the four forces yet. It's the runway. The next sentence, and this is where desire the first force use, there starts doing work. Here's the sentence. It helps dilate arteries and increase circulation. Circulation impacts blood pressure, heart health, and more. Notice what kind of desire that is. It's not emotional desire. It's not feel better. It's functional health desire, the tangible physiological benefit. For this audience, functional desire is the right layer. They're not buying a lifestyle product. They're buying cardiovascular insurance. That sentence is giving them the outcome they came for. The next sentence is where the force of belief comes in. It goes like this. Diet and exercise play a large role in stimulating the natural production of NO, as well as NO stimulating foods that are high in dietary nitrates like spinach and beetroot. Why is that belief? Because belief in the buying forces framework is about what the prospect is already doing. This line meets them where they already are. It says, yes, the thing you already believe, that diet and exercise matter, is correct. It's not fighting their existing belief system. It's reinforcing it. And that matters because in the next sentence, we're about to complicate it. The next sentence goes, leak this. Unfortunately, in today's world of refined foods, these options may not be enough, especially for those over 40, when NO levels naturally begin to decline. This sentence is doing something important, and it's worth pausing on. This is the connective tissue. It's not carrying one of the four forces explicitly, but it's doing two craft moves. First, the age gate, especially for those over 40. That's the demo qualifying itself into the problem. If you're the target buyer, you just got picked out of the room. Second, the cultural context. Today's world of refined foods. That taps into a broader cultural narrative the buyer already holds opinions about without making you do the work of convincing them of it. Both of those moves happen in one sentence, and if you were speed reading the copy, you'd miss the craft entirely. Final sentence of the top half uses hope, and it goes leak this. Replenishing NO levels with dietary nitrates is essential on a regular basis, which is why consuming a functional food like SuperBeets every day can help. Hope in the framework is about whether this specific product is the answer. That sentence takes the belief you just reinforced, the age problem you just accepted, and hands you the solution. And the solution is daily, not occasional, not when you remember, daily. Then a closer line under this first block reads, and there's no easier, hassle-free way to never miss a day than with our subscription options below. That's the handoff. That's the line that points directly at the offer block and says, here's the format that matches the practice. Subscription is no longer being pitched as an upsell or a savings mechanism. It's being pitched as the logistical answer to a daily requirement the reader just internalized. That's the ninja move here. If you're listening to this and running a supplement page, I want you to hold that move in your head because we'll come back to it. Now, the bottom half of what we added is where trust gets built. And specifically, the subscription objections get dismantled one at a time. So in total, there are 4 blocks in this second section that explains how subscriptions work. I'll read each one and tell you exactly which subscription objection it's answering. Block 1. Keep up your daily heart health support routine with a fresh supply of SuperBeets. Order once, and you're set for a healthy future. The objection this answers is this going to be difficult to keep up with? For an over 40 buyer worried about their heart health, the commitment isn't the money. It's the fear of falling that matters. Order once and you're set dissolves that objection. It positions subscription as the solution to their own follow-through problem. Block 2 reads, when you sign up today, your bill date will be the same day each month or every 3 months, depending on your subscription level. So there will be no surprises. The objection this answers is, am I going to get surprise charged? This is the number one reason buyers refuse subscription. They've been burned before. The line doesn't explain it away. It names the fear directly. No surprises. That specific phrase matters. Block 3 reads, when you subscribe, you are in complete control. You can pause, change your delivery date or frequency, or cancel any time by calling, then we put the phone number, or by contacting us online. The objection this answers is, am I going to be trapped? And notice the craft here. They don't just say, cancel any time. We published the actual phone number on the page. That's a trust multiplier. Most brands bury the cancellation path. Putting a phone number on the page signals we're not trying to make this hard to leave, which paradoxically makes people more willing to commit. Block 4 reads, you're guaranteed the low members-only price of just $34.95 per canister each month, or $69.90 for 2 canisters plus 1 free, a 3-month supply every 90 days, even if we raise the price in the future. This triggers the psychological principle of fear of loss. The price lock turns subscription from a cost into an asset. You're not subscribing. You're grandfathering yourself into a better price. That's a meaningfully different psychological position. And then the closer. There's no risk, and you're protected by our 90-day money-back guarantee. That's the final safety net. If every other objection somehow survived the first 4 blocks, the guarantee catches it. So let's take a step back for a second. The top half of the section isn't selling the product. The product is already being sold on the page above this section we added. The top half is selling the format. The idea that this is a daily practice, not an occasional purchase. It converts the reader's mental model from supplement I might try to daily replenishment I need to do consistently. Once that conversion happens in their mind, the bottom half doesn't have to argue for subscription. It just has to remove the friction. The 4 trust blocks aren't persuading. They're de-risking. By the time the reader reaches the offer block, subscription isn't just an option. It's the default in their mind. One-time purchase has become the weird option. And we didn't make subscription default, by the way. The one-time was the default. I'm seeing a lot of supplement companies macking subscription default now in 2026. That's the architecture we used on this test. Establish daily necessity in the top half, dismantle the 4 primary subscription objections in the bottom half, and let the offer block do what it was already doing. The test ran as a standard A/B test. The control was the existing page. The treatment page had the section inserted above the offer block. Statistical significance came quickly because TV traffic at that volume generates real sample size fast. The result was that subscription sales lifted 23.53%. Projected revenue contribution over the life of the treatment was over $200,000. That's the subscription lift. Multiplied by LTV, multiplied by traffic over the test window. Here's a few things worth saying, honestly, to add more context. overall conversion rate didn't dramatically shift. The section wasn't making more buyers. It was shifting the mix from one-time to subscription buyers. That's exactly what we predicted in our hypothesis from an intervention targeting subscription psychology specifically, not purchase psychology. The magnitude 23.5% on warm TV traffic was above my confidence range going in. My internal bet was mid to low double digits. The reason it overperformed, I think, is because the trust architecture in both the top and the bottom half was doing work no prior test on that page had done. The team had been testing persuasion. We were testing aligning with how people buy supplements, and that's the real difference in our thinking. I want to do something I rarely do on this show, which is go back to a win and tell you what I'd change if I were running the same test today, because the market has moved. Two things. First, the price lock. Members only price even if we raise the price in the future. Today, I'd add even more teeth. Maybe a loyalty milestone, a product line upgrade path, or a specific renewal perk. The job is a bit different. Instead of fear of loss, it's gain, to make subscription feel like gaining something. Second, the compliance read-on, especially for those over 40. That line sailed through at the time. But today, depending on the ad platform and how this page is being used, that specific phrase in proximity to health outcomes could warrant a compliance review. The intent is fine. The phrasing might need tightening. I'd probably test an alternate that demo gates without the direct age call-out or something else. None of those criticisms invalidate the original result. The strategic read still holds. But if you're listening to this and thinking, I want to run this play on my page, don't copy the execution exactly. Vary market and beliefs within that product category are different. So what does this tell you about your own page? Well, here's the diagnostic for the marketing director listening. Pull your supplement page up right now. Find your offer block. Look at the real estate directly above it. You probably don't even have anything above it. It's probably a product detail page. And that works for some traffic, but not for all anyway. Ask yourself two questions. 1, does the copy above my offer establish why this product needs to be taken consistently, or does it just establish that the product is good? 2, directly above my offer, have I explicitly dismantled the 4 big subscription objections? Will I remember to keep this up? Will I get surprise charged? Am I trapped? Will I regret the price later? With specific copy addressing each one. If the answer to question 1 is it just establishes the product is good, you have the same gap Human had in the top half. If the answer to question 2 is no, the offer block itself is doing that work. You have the same gap Human had in the bottom half. Most supplement pages I audit have both gaps. The offer block is being asked to do work that belongs upstream of it. Once you move that work upstream, the offer block relaxes, and the subscription option starts converting on its own merits. 2 quick things before I wrap. First, I'm going to do a follow-up episode on the second test we ran on this same page. That one used a commitment and consistency approach and added another 31% on top of this 23%. Different psychological lever entirely. If this episode was useful, that one will be too. Second, if you're running a supplement brand doing $5 million and up, and your subscription take rate has been flat for 6 months, and your internal team has run the obvious offer block tests without getting a win, that's exactly the pattern where this specific intervention pulls its weight. The win is almost never at the decision point. It's upstream of it. If that's you, reach out to me on creativethirst.com. Thanks for listening.